Hey everyone, welcome back to the Rosie Review, where we review, deep dive, and follow up on pop culture controversies centered around celebrity, history, news, and so much more. But before we do that, why not just Betty boop that like button, subscribe button, follow button, whatever buttons are involved, because we've got quite a show for you. You are not going to want to miss it. It's a good thing. Now, let's get into this review. So, I don't know about you, but if you love documentaries the way that I do, recently CNN put out this documentary series on Martha Stewart called The Many Lives of Martha Stewart. And it was great. It really did get into a lot of the variations of her life. She was so many things. Model to stockbroker to magazine publisher to media mogul, building the empire Martha Stewart Omnimedia. It's just huge. It was a great documentary. I really enjoyed it. They just barely touched on one particular area that I wanted to go a little bit deeper into, and that was her relationship with Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, Martha Stewart.
That's like me with your auntie. What's wrong
Facts.
with that? I learned so much when I'm with her in the kitchen, etiquette-wise.
Who's done more time?
Martha
right?
done more time than me. She way more gangster than me.
How long was she in jail?
More than a year.
Wow. She did some time,
Oh, she's a thug.
I wish y'all would say something to Martha. What? She did way more time than all you suckers.
Well, Snoop came on my show, and what was really charming about Snoop, first of all, was his giggle. He giggles in a very, very nice way. And his quest for learning. He is a real student. And that's what really appealed to me. And then when we did the Justin Bieber roast, we sat next to each other for hours. He smoked all day long. We were on a stage rehearsing, and all he did was smoke, and everybody was in such a good mood, and we were all roasting each other. And luckily, Snoop's secondhand smoke really kind of eased the pain for me a lot. And it was hysterical because I just felt, okay, I'll go with the flow here. After like 6 billion views around the world, it turned out to be one of the best things, and it cemented my relationship with Snoop.
We've got Martha. She was born on August 3rd, 1941 in New Jersey. And then we've got Snoop Dogg. He was born October 20th of 1971 in Long Beach, California. They're 30 years apart, which, when you meet later in life and you both have a little more life experience behind you, you can still have good conversation because you've got a little experience to draw on. Different age gaps feel differently throughout your life. The way that they kind of banter with each other, the energy that is between them, it's just so comical to watch. Of course, Snoop Dogg, he was not given the birth name Snoop Dogg. His real birth name is Calvin Cortazar Broadus. Funny little fact there is that his mom actually, when he was quite little, she thought he resembled Snoopy, like from Charlie Brown, Snoopy, so much that she nicknamed him Snoop Dogg. So that's the little tidbit behind that, little fun fact for you. So we've got Martha Stewart, and like I said, her occupations have included modeling, which she was, I think it was like $120 an hour. Is that right? I could be wrong on that. She actually went to school, became a stockbroker, which again, back in that time frame, this was very unusual. She was a trendsetter even back then. So she went from that, and then actually she got married. She started her own kind of personal catering business that was quite successful, and that actually led into her magazine publishing and her books publishing. And then from there, just media mogul. She ended up being the first female in at least American history to become a billionaire. So then we've got Snoop Dogg. He is basically, your rapper through and through. He was discovered in California by Dr. Dre, another rapper. That was in 1992. And he's done a little bit of acting. He's done some songwriting, but pretty much just hardcore rapper. Snoop Dogg, he's best known for the epitome of West Coast hip hop culture. He's also known for smoking weed, but it's not so controversial anymore. However, back in like 90s and 2000s, this was not a commonly known or commonly practiced sort of thing. So for him to just be like, yeah, what's the big deal? I do it every day. It was kind of like mind-blowing back then. There was a lot of controversy around that, and he just made it cool. He's also known for creating his own vocabulary, which you shall see. So these two, again, very different backgrounds, very different people in general. Martha, she spent a little time in prison. There was a little hiccup with some selling of some stock of her own. It gained her $45,000, which isn't really super impressive. Doesn't seem like she should have actually gone to jail for that amount of money, but this was in October 2004. So I don't know. Times change. So from October 2004 until March 2005, she spent time in prison. Then for another 5 months after, she actually just did house arrest. Snoop, he's been arrested 8 times. I don't know that he's ever served any actual time. He does admit in one of these interviews we're going to catch a glimpse of that he might have used his celebrity a little bit to get out of some sticky situations. So maybe that has served him well. So when Martha and Snoop first meet, this is the year 2008. It's November. Martha at this time is 67 years old. Snoop Dogg is 30 years her junior, so he's 37 years old. Martha's business is blossoming. She's already done the stint in jail and prison, and she's just getting back to business. She's got her whole Omni Media running, and it's a workhorse. Snoop Dogg, he had put out an album in March of that year, 2008, called Ego Trippin'. That was his 9th album, and now he's got another album on the way.
How did Snoop Dogg become friends with Martha Stewart? Snoop appeared as a guest on Martha Stewart's television show, Martha, in 2008. During the show, they quickly developed a surprising rapport, showcasing their unique chemistry. He returned a year later to bake the stoner's favorite dessert, chocolate brownies. At one point, she asked him to set the oven to 350 degrees, in which he replied, "Why not bake them at 420?" Despite coming from very different backgrounds and industries, they found common ground and mutual respect.
He's a funny guy, but he also is very thoughtful. And he actually scores, I think not quite genius level, but almost with his IQ. Again, I was surprised about this relationship. I had known about it. They've done different things together, but I never really understood it. And that's why I wanted to really investigate. Is this relationship for real? Or do they just play into, we're going to get a lot of looks, a lot of, opportunities because we're so different. People want to see this. And that is true. But I think that their friendship, it's a real thing. It's a good thing, as Martha Stewart likes to say. The next clip here, we've got December 2009. Snoop comes back on Martha Stewart Living show, and they decide to make green brownies. Now, I believe Snoop said, "Hey, let's make green brownies." Martha heard green colored brownies. I don't think that's really exactly what Snoop meant. All right, so then in November 2010, again, like these first couple interactions, they're about a year apart. So, it's not like they met each other and they're just like drawn to each other and trying to do all these things or get all these endorsements or really cement the relationship. As far as we can see, as far as, my research, there was a good amount of time in between. There was a little bit of a courtship, if you will. But in November 2010, the Twitter relationship really cements itself. Snoop reaches out to Martha, sends her this sweet little tweet. At Martha Stewart, hi sunshine, need some goodies for Prince William's bachelor party. I got the track, #WET, you get the snacks. And then we've got in May of 2013, so again, 3 years later, Snoop tweets a creatively edited pic of the two of them baking brownies from four years earlier. Talks about, how fun it was baking those brownies with her and that they should do it again. Then in November of 2014, Snoop tweets a picture of his new candle line and says in the tweet that Martha really inspired him to do this. There's one in particular, D's Nuts, roasting on an open fire. I actually am kind of curious what that smells like. And then there's white rose and baby powder. Those are the 3 kinds of candles that he came out with. So it's just really sweet to see them kind of interact. And again, it is definitely more Snoop reaching out to Martha. I didn't see any of the replies. I don't know if she, reached out back to him. I'm not sure. But he's kind of getting this rolling and just kind of, reaching out, making sure she doesn't forget him. However, in March of 2015, this is when things really get cemented. Their friendship and their futures are just bound together by this one famous evening. And that is Comedy Central's roast of Justin Bieber. The kid was turning 21 years old, and this was part of his festivities. He agreed to do this Comedy Central roast, and then he went out on the town in Las Vegas and whooped it up with all of his friends. But this event was hosted by Kevin Hart. It had quite a few people on the roasting panel, but 2 primary guests were Snoop Dogg, Martha Stewart. They were actually seated next to each other. And that was helpful to Martha. She might have admitted to getting a little second-hand contact high from the dog, who apparently, he's just smoking the whole time. I don't know if the camera actually caught him smoking, like on stage, on camera, but there was a lot of puffing going on. Whether it was on the breaks, I don't know. So basically, she was the last presenter. By the time she got up to the mic, she said, I was feeling no pain. I was feeling good. Like the secondhand contact, it's a real thing. And I was up for the challenge.
Talk about the bitch of the hour. Justin, leave it to Bieber. Most like myself, we go a little crazy when we get famous. Buy some dope cars, bad bitches. But you bought a monkey. That monkey was more embarrassed than the one that started the AIDS epidemic.
Let's get to the reason I'm here tonight, which is to give Justin Bieber some tips to use when he inevitably ends up in prison. I've been in lockup, and you wouldn't last a week, so pay attention. The first thing you'll need is a shank. I made mine out of a pintail comb and a pack of gum. I'll show you how later. It's so simple. I found Bubblicious works best, and it's so much fun to say. You see, when I did my stretch, all the hood rats on my cell block wanted to break off a piece of Martha Stewart's ass. So I decided some bitch needed to get got. I walked into the chow hall, picked out the biggest bull dyke, and I stuck her. From then on, prison was easier than making blueberry scones.
Then in July of 2016, they get their first official collaboration together, and that is as contestants on the $100,000 pyramid. It looks like there was a specific theme.
Something that you make your salad in.
Oh, bowl.
You pull them out of your garden. They're bad.
Weed.
It's a little sort of vermin that crawls around your kitchen. You don't want them.
Ants. A roach.
The low road.
The high road.
Skinny. Opposite of skinny.
Fat. Fatty.
It's something that you roll like sushi.
Oh, a joint.
And it's the country code for the Czech Republic.
420, baby.
So then in September of 2016, Snoop was interviewed for Rolling Stone magazine. He said some really sweet things about Martha and their relationship. This was to promote their upcoming TV show. I've never met anyone like Martha. When we come together, it's a natural combination of love, peace, and harmony. As part of their PR, they together went on the Ellen Show along with Anna Kendrick, and they played Never Have I Ever. It could have gotten worse, but there's a few revealing questions.
Never have I ever been stoned on a talk show. Never have I ever been to a nude beach.
Wait a minute, I'm lying.
Martha?
Martha?
Martha.
Haven't you been to Sand Beach on St. Bart's?
No.
Oh.
No, I have not been to
No. No. Wow. With that same person you texted, or? Oh, but this was a good one. One more. It's my show. Never have I ever used my fame to get out of trouble.
Oh, boy.
Snoop and Martha then proceeded to do a parody of a movie scene with two lovers caressing some wet clay. Can you guess which movie this is? Because we don't want to be sued here at the Rosie Review, we cannot actually play this song, but it is Unchained Melody, and the movie that they are parodying is Ghost, which starred Demi Moore, who is being played by Martha Stewart, and Patrick Swayze, played by Snoop. Oh my gosh, like at the end there with the buttercream between their hands, I just don't know how I would feel about that. I don't know. I don't know if that's icky or somewhat sensual. I don't know my feelings on that. It just kind of like, it makes me crack up, man. It's so funny. So after that commercial, of course, it leads into the beginning of their new show together, and that is Martha and Snoop's potluck dinner party, where they host other famous celebrities and they all pitch in, they do some cooking together, and then they all sit down and they eat it and they talk.
Hey, Martha.
Okay. Oh, this is terrible. Give me another one.
No. We all want to know that, Martha.
Okay. When I want to look sexy, I put on.
Hey.
I don't put on. I take off.
Oh!
So several years later, Snoop decides to release a cookbook, and Martha Stewart gives a foreword in it. She writes some very sweet things. Working with Snoop in the kitchen has been a remarkable experience for me. Not only has he taught me a new lingo and cultural references, he surprised me with his unique cooking techniques and recipes. He actually later produced another cookbook that was called Snoop Dogg Presents Goon with the Spoon. That was in collaboration with another rapper, E40. The dishes actually look pretty good. They look pretty interesting. And I love that he just kind of adds his own flavor, which is what Snoop is known for. I mean, that's really what we love about him. But he adds what Martha has, I'm sure, lovingly described as common food, but he adds a lot of times like little kind of processed foods. So like potato chips to the chicken coating before you fry it. Unique ways to add a little extra flavor. In March of 2019, we have another parody commercial. Again, very famous lovers relationship type of scene. Just guess what we got going on here. Again, we're not looking to cause any issues with copyright, so I'm going to describe to you. We've got the first couple notes of the wonderful song by Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On. Snoop's got wide open arms, Martha standing behind him like Jack does with Rose at the front of the bow of Titanic. And now Snoop is frying. He's frying. I'm frying. Martha, I'm frying. So that was to announce they are starting a new cooking show. This one is actually called Martha and Snoop's Potluck Party Challenge. So they switch up the format a little bit. Instead of just like, let's cook together and eat and talk about it, it was a competition. So Martha's team, Snoop's team. There again, we've got famous celebrities coming on and, you know, giving a little bit of interview, asking little questions throughout the time that they're doing their cooking together.
Let's get our thing popping now.
Let's do it.
Now, the first trick to the trade is you take some tater chips.
Tater chips.
Yeah.
T-A-T-A.
See what I'm saying? Now watch game.
What? We won this already, yo.
That's crazy.
Go home.
Oh, I've never seen your potato chips in your chicken before.
Yeah,
Exactly.
In the hood, you put them all in there because we trying to get this done in 12 minutes. She talking about 3 days. It's like a game, you know what I'm saying?
I'm actually just noticing their backgrounds, like the setting of Snoop versus Martha's layout of the kitchen. It's really clever. They did like the front grill of maybe like an old Cadillac on Snoop's side, and then of course her sides look, I mean, it basically looks like the Martha Stewart Living Show. It's very clean and pristine and very well ordered. And then on Snoop's side, we've got like a grow box behind him. Like we have some plants in there, but we all know what it really would be. So again, just clever production. Good job, guys. In 2020, Snoop launched a wine deal with 19 Crimes Winery. They base their wines on criminals. Like they have a little bio on each of their labels that gives a little description of who these people were, why they were charged, and then sent off to Australia. That was criminal island, essentially, where all the countries sent their felons. And then it gives a little bit of kind of a backstory also about if they escaped, if they tried to escape the island. It's really, I mean, it's really sad and interesting, but who's the present day kind of like bad boy criminal? You got Snoop. He signed up to do this deal with this winery, and he's made it really profitable collaboration. He has 4 different types available now. There's Cali Rosé, Cali Red Blend, Cali Gold, and Cali Blanc. So he seems to really enjoy working with them. Funny enough, 2 years later, so in 2022, Martha Stewart ends up working with this brand, which Martha's a criminal too, so why not? And now you got Snoop and Martha, like, awesome. Again, I've seen where, different people catering different events have put the two together. Like, you've got a Cali Red and you've got it's a Chardonnay, Martha's Chard next to it. Like, perfect. That's such a great idea. So during lockdown, these two still continued to communicate. Martha taught Snoop how to plant a tomato plant. And then they did a little Zoom cookie baking over the Christmas time. They kept things going. And then in February of 2021, Martha and Snoop hosted the 2021 Puppy Bowl. It's so sweet. Martha representing Team Rough in orange and Snoop representing Team Fluff in the blue.
Tailgate party is still going strong.
That's right, Snoop, and Team Ruff's going strong too.
Oh my goodness!
Detroit had that amazing touchdown. We might be down by 14 points now, but we're gonna rally, Snoop. Get those tissues ready.
And you saw that 4-5 field goal from my main man Bingo too? 3 scores in a row, Rough just can't hang with the fluff. Gang, gang.
In April 2021, they were featured on Jimmy Fallon's show where they did the Best Friends Challenge.
I love you guys. Now, Snoop and Martha, you two have been best friends for years. We've been friends for years, but we wondered, do you ever wondered if you guys might be best friends? There you go.
Hey, Snoop.
Martha is my best FF. I can't say that because we're on NBC, but my BFF.
Best friend forever.
Okay.
Nah.
I got you. All right. We have a game. We have a game. I got you, dude. We have a game where we can play to prove that you guys are best friends. It's time for the Best Friends Challenge. Here we go. It says, what is Snoop's favorite thing to cook? So, Snoop, you write down the real answer. Martha, you write down what you think Snoop's answer is going to be. What is Snoop's favorite thing to cook?
Okay.
All right. Wow. You seem confident. Okay, Martha, what did you write? Fried chicken with cornflakes. Sounds good. Snoop?
Oh, no.
Chicken wings. I will take that.
Okay.
I put frosted flakes on it, baby.
He always adds something sort of regular, common, to his food, and it makes it taste so good.
I love that one. Okay, here we go. Is our next question. All right. If Martha was an alcoholic beverage, what would she be? Snoop? Okay, here we go. Snoop, what did you write? Vodka. Really? I think Martha's a whiskey girl myself. Martha Rita, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, wow.
Okay, next question is, if Snoop had to choose a different profession, what would he do? Martha, what did you write? A basketball star or coach. Snoop, a pastor. Come on now. Absolutely, come on. Complete this sentence. Martha has the world's greatest blank. All right, here we go. It's time. Snoop, what did you write? Martha has the world's greatest outlook on cooking.
Wow.
Look at that. Getting real. Martha, what did you write? Martha has the world's greatest grandchildren. See, come on, this is what I'm talking about. That's two good people right there.
But my very favorite thing that they ever did was in October 2021, they collaborated. They appeared as host and guest judges of a Peacock special called Snoop and Martha's Very Tasty Halloween. They both dressed up, Snoop wearing a bat dog costume. I don't know how well that came off. And then Martha Stewart was a witch.
The ghouls and freaks are on the prowl. I need sweets and treats to stop my stomach growl. I haven't thrown a Halloween party in a minute. I want this to be one for the history books. You understand me? You know my Halloween queen will be throwing this party with me. I'll pick the best bacon talent. I want dozens and dozens of treats. I want a fortress abundant. Everything I do has to be big. Welcome to our tasty manor.
Then in February 2022, the two host the Puppy Bowl again for their second year in a row.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Puppy Bowl 18, the only sporting event on the planet guaranteed to raise the woof. I'm your homie, Big Snoop D-O-double-G, joined by none other than the marvelous, magnificent, my girl, Martha Stewart.
Holding buttons. Hello, everyone. I can't tell you how excited both Snoop and I are to be back here helping kick off Puppy Bowl 18 and find forever homes for a bunch of deserving pups.
For the second year in a row, I'm holding it down for Team Fluffy, a.k.a. Snoop Doggy Dogs. And I got my little homie Parker with me.
While I continue to support the orange and white of the defending champs, Team Rough.
It's all gonna come down to training. That's why we're taking our pint-sized players through a specially designed obstacle course.
In June of 2022, Martha features Snoop as her first guest on her new podcast, the Martha Stewart Podcast. Of course, it's called the Martha Stewart Podcast. Like, she's just completely branded everything with her name. I mean, that's brilliant. Good for her. This was right after Snoop had finished coming off stage. It wasn't literally right after. It was a couple months later. But Snoop had just done a performance at the 2022 Super Bowl where he was joined by Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent. They all performed. That was one of probably my favorites. There was such good energy about that one. And, you know, that was the music that I listened to when I was growing up. So it was great. I loved it.
You have the vault to anything you want to know, Martha.
Oh, how nice. I've told Snoop before, but I'll tell him again. Every time I go anywhere, all they want to know is how's Snoop and how did Martha and Snoop get to work together and become friends. And it's such a pleasure. My demographic has broadened so greatly because of my association with you, Snoop.
You don't think mine's has, Martha? You don't think I get approached all the time by people that I would not expect to come say hi to me and they say, I love what you and Martha are doing. Do you think you can get me a picture of Martha? You think you can get an autograph?
Are you the one who's giving out all those at my address to everybody? I get about 10 requests a day for pictures. That's a lot.
I think it's so funny the way she says Snoop. I don't know. There's a little extra something on the way she says his name.
Yeah, and Snoop actually influenced me to get into the CBD business, introducing me to Canopy Group up in Canada, and we're now making very fine gummies. And even the gummies at 10 milligrams per gummy are they could be bigger. I think they could be bigger. I've been doing a lot of research too, Snoop, and we should share our research.
Yes.
But doctors are finding out amazing things about the different forms of CBD and the different forms of THC and what effects they have on autoimmune and anti-inflammatory, all of that. It does have some really great quality.
That's right. Martha Stewart is now in the CBD business. She has been completely influenced by Snoop in this way. So it's just fun to see, like, Snoop has all these moments where he's credited Martha, you know, the candles and his cookbook. And then we've got Martha Stewart like, ooh, I mean, why not do a little cannabis some?
Different. Sometimes, Martha, we can hear the music and the music will inspire you. And then sometimes you have words in your head that need to get out and then you put music around that. In this different situation, like I could be watching TV and I can get an idea based off of something that I've seen on the television screen and I convert that into a song and make it make sense and make it about the moment. So a lot of times we draw our instances and our information from what's actually happening at the moment so we can convert that into a song.
Is that what most rappers do?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's something that's a trait that we have to be able to, like the poetry that we write is in the moment. To be able to write those words that rhyme in rhythm and cadence, and then to also have a meaning behind it and to have a voice that represents you. That's what it's all about.
There were so many clips from this episode that I wanted to include here, but it really would have been just too much for what we're doing. But it was really insightful. The questions she asked were good, but his answers were so well conceived, and you can just tell by listening to him that he really thinks about the whole picture. And again, it just was like, wow, I knew of his name. I didn't know who he was. And this was really good to hear. And it was inspiring. He is inspiring.
We did our wonderful potluck dinner party. Your mom came.
Yes.
And your mom meant so much to you. She was such an elegant lady. And she came with some friends to the show and sat at one of the cocktail tables. Tell me a little bit about her, because I know she passed away this year, and I read your posts, and it seemed to really affect you. You were very close.
Yeah, we were very close. She had the time of her life when she came on the show. That my mom was always a star, and to put her on television, gave her that moment that she always wanted. She loved you. She loved everything that you stood for, everything that you was about. And to see me be able to be in a transition, to be able to be on television with somebody as prestigious as you and to hold my own meant a lot to her. And when she passed away, it didn't make me weak. It made me strong. I probably was weak 2 or 3 days after. But after, I had to understand, I had 50 years with an angel. She taught me everything I know. She showed me how to be who I am. And she prepared me for this day by raising me the way she raised me. So there's no need to be sad. It's the joy that I had with her. And for anybody else that's going to go through this, I'm here for you, and I'll help you understand the dynamics of what you had as opposed to what you lost.
Well, people ask me what you're really like. I think it's coming across here as a sensitive, intelligent, creative human being. What do you want people to think about you at this present moment? What do you want people to think about Snoop Dogg?
That I'm for the people. I'm the people's champ. I'm for the people. Like, I had a chance to have a relationship with Muhammad Ali, before he lost his speech. Yeah. And then I had a relationship with him after he lost his speech, because his grandson and my son went to the same high school together. So we would sit down with each other during the games, and I would put a blanket around him and just sit next to him and talk to him. And one thing I noticed was the reason why I'm around so much greatness, because it's meant for me to be great. And when I'm around these great people, I learn how to conduct myself, how to be in the moment, and how to be a GOAT, the greatest of all time. So the experiences that I've had with these people gives me the knowledge to know how to move, and that's why I'm respected, and that's why I respect the people, and I want you guys to love me like I love you, and that's how I want to be remembered.
Then we've got a little controversy that happened in February of 2023, and this was the last major kind of interaction that we've seen between these two. I'm sure they're still good, but it's about time. Like, it's a year later. This was back in 2023. Like, let's February, March. It's March 2024. It's a year later. Like, this is your time frame, guys. Like, kick something out here. So in February of 2023, during a Super Bowl commercial, Martha Stewart displays some skin ink.
Did Martha Stewart really get this tattoo of Snoop Dogg? It looks like it. She posted the picture to Instagram. She says, "My dog, thanks for the amazing tattoo, Scott Campbell. Forever linked in ink to my favorite Snoop Dogg." And the tattoo artist, Scott Campbell, posted the picture himself. He says, "I got to tattoo a legend onto a legend. Thanks, Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg. I can retire now." Looks like it's real. I love this friendship.
Martha Stewart set social media on fire with her new Snoop Dogg tattoo that looks to be either real or it could be fake, but regardless, they've been friends for 15 years, and that's a great gesture, whether if it's real or fake, that she got a tattoo of her homie Snoop Dogg on her left arm. Let us know if you think it's real or if you think it's fake.
I mean, it was a fake tattoo, but it sparked a lot of real controversy. Like, is this real? Is this not? Did this really happen? Would she do this? And we don't know. Like, what we've seen of Martha and Snoop and what they've done and how they've changed and even just affected each other's lives, it's really interesting and fun. And would she get a Snoop tattoo? Like, you can't put it past her. Does she have one? We don't know. I don't think it's this exact one, but maybe she's got like a little Snoopy outline somewhere. Wouldn't that be cute? So again, this is just something I wanted to highlight between the two of them. I just wanted to deep dive a little bit more, kind of review their relationship and see what these two are really about. Is this all publicity, or is this a real true friendship? From my understanding, it's the real deal, and it's a good thing.